And then we do a worksheet or two, and then I let them actually tell me. They build the lesson. Because they know the sounds now, so even if it's a nonsense word, we'll put it up there. But mostly they make words. We've been doing this for weeks now. We started Unit 3, and they're making their own words, and they're building their own word chart. If you've seen on my wall, that's their word chart. I didn't create it. They're not sight words. They're words that they built and that we use. And at the end of the week, I take all the words, that's why I leave them up there, and then they'll make sentences out of those words. Like we'll come up together on Friday sentence day. We'll literally use those words in a sentence. So they're starting to learn how to read, how to put them in sentences. Because they know enough words now that they can form a sentence. We do it in small groups of 4, but they'll build sentences every week from those words. Which is, they're generating it, so it's what they're getting.
What grade?
Kindergarten. Oh, they can read now. 70% of my kids can read. Not a small book. We have little books. I'll show you. We have books that look like this. I have a whole tub of them. They can read these books. They read them to each other. The one will read to one, and then the other one will take their book and read it to them. And they can read these books. They're only 5, but they can read them. So, and parents have been reading every Wednesday. They have homework in a homework folder. And one of them is a book from the phonics book where they'll actually go home and read it to your mom, and then they'll send the book back. So yeah, let me show you. Come on in for a second. Yeah, because I wanted my kids and the other kindergarten. We taught them. They can do the days of the week and the months of the year in Spanish, and they're learning to read and sign. They do the morning prayer. They read the morning prayer every morning. So. Oh yeah, you can come back. I would love to come back if you guys are around at 11 because the rooms are together. We're practicing for kindergarten. This program, it may just be morning activity, but it has blended into everything else. We were able to do more with them this year than we were last. And if you come back at 11, you'll see what they've done. Both rooms have done amazing. Parents are going to be wowed, and it's because of this, truly.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're just visiting. We would love to hear your feelings about Reading Aloud, about foundations, how the year's gone.
Okay. Well, since I've been in here for a while, I'm talking to certain teachers and stuff like that. They think that the program's phenomenal, right? They've seen changes in their room and their students that they've said they did not ordinarily see. All right. So especially the teachers that have been here for a few years. Teachers have been here for a few years that have noticed that they've had other interventions, a couple other interventions in years past. Well, they've seen that with this program that there is a definite change, right? And they've seen that. And if, I don't know if you visited kindergarten.
Yeah.
She loves it, right? She loves the program. She loves it. All right. As a matter of fact, I think that's why I'm like hanging on to her next year because she wants to come back for the program, right? Just to see what the new crop of kids are going to do, and they'll be very happy to see what happens to them next year when they get into the new grade, new curriculum. Excuse me, and see how they're going to progress.
Right.
And see what kind of changes there are, and it's, especially when they keep with the program, and then it goes up another grade, and they find out what's going to happen with that curriculum for that grade level, and see how much they improve there too. Because a lot of times we get students that aren't exactly on grade level, all right? When they come into the school, when they come in, they're not exactly on grade level, and trying to get them up to grade level is a struggle, right? And this program helps a lot.
And how about the older kids that we're working with? So that Diana and Colette are working with older students.
Right. The older ones, we're seeing a little bit of an improvement with them as well. All right. I think you see incrementally a bigger improvement with the younger ones as opposed to them because of the time. It's almost like a language type thing. Like when you're older, with the language, it tends to take longer. But they're making some strides there as well. Right. Because of the fact that it affects them in class. So when they come back and they read, they have a little more confidence. They have a little more confidence with that. So that's a healthy thing too. To help them do that. Excuse me.
Done.
This is where we put the principal / teacher on the thing.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. But going back to what I'm saying is that the older students, they're making some strides. Sorry with the cough. And you can see that in classes when they're coming back in a different class because some of our guys downstairs in the second floor, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they're going teacher to teacher to teacher, right? So it's not like they're just compartmentalized like we are kind of a little bit. but it's kind of like they're going to science, they're going to English, they're going to social studies, different teachers, kind of like a high school type schedule, right? So they can see where there's an issue and when there's things that are improving also, so they can see that as well. So I get that from the second floor too, especially when they go over, and we try not to curtail anything that's going over here to let them go to the program.
Right.
Like, yeah, so after school, that's kind of like an important thing for us. We tend to do that. Like, other things can wait. Like, if they're in a club, we can, and the club runs all year, that can wait. You can go to the next meeting, right? You can go to the next thing, or you can a sports event, practice. That'll be, you can skip that a little bit. We try to get this time in. Because we see definite improvement when there's time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's for me being here all day. Right, so there's, I'd be looking at the program a little bit more if I was, actually walking around and being able to do this and be firsthand, like sitting in and seeing that. But they're happy to go. I know that because a lot of times, I got to go today, and like I got to get them ready to go, and they already know, so they're ready. Especially after lunch, they might miss every once in a while. So, I got to go to the program, so I can't stay downstairs and come here or something like that. So, yeah, that's something that we're able to get across to. They know.
Sometimes they remember.
Yeah, well,
Kids forget everything. So it's like when you're
sometimes they remember, sometimes.
And then as far as next year, obviously, so William Kendra is a 3-year grant.
Right.
For the audit, for our auditors, that grant is still going to be everybody for that.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Can you talk about why that would be great?
It'd be great because of the fact that it would continue with what they're doing already. Oh, sure. If we can continue with the program for next year,
With Reading Aloud.
with Reading Aloud, yes. The kids that are in that program right now, they'll slide right back into in September, right back into the whole program, the minutes, the schedule. It'll be part of the day, right? But the fact is, they need it, right? So if kind of like all the work that they've done this year and all the strides that they made and all the gains they made, we don't let them fall, right? So if they don't have that and it's a structure type thing and they know the structure, it's easier for them to go right back into that structure again and go and hit the next material, hit the next goal that they're going to hit and try to get as much as much information as they can in their heads. So I was just trying to say, and then summer they have a little bit of a loss. It's expected sometimes, right? It's expected, but when they come back, they'll hit the ground running because of the fact that they already know what's going on, right? And it's going to be so much better, and they know it, and they're making strides now. So if they're going to come back to something that is successful, and they know it's successful, then they'll be eager to do that, right? So they won't be like a little reluctant. I think maybe had a little reluctance this year at the beginning, for any program they have, but that's kind of important.
And we're hoping the CCB students, so the ones from the community centre who have the scholarship to attend here, are going to an ESF Dream Camp over the summer. And Dream Camp is happy to have us work with those students
Oh, that's
there.
great.
So we're hoping that at least those students we can continue with over the summer.
So it'll be like not as much loss.
Exactly.
Summer loss, yeah, it won't be as much summer loss,
Exactly.
yeah.
So we hope that we can do that.
That's
We
good.
think that will make a big difference.
That's good. Now we do have summer work and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if you don't have that person that's next to you and doing that kind of thing with you,
Right.
and going through the whole process with you, you kind of lose a little bit.
Yeah.
If left to your own devices sometimes.
Yeah, my kids never did it, and then the day before school started,
Oh,
they
yeah.
would have always
Procrastinators,
been
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I don't know if anyone has any questions for Mr. Coleman.
But it's good.
So wonderful. So kudos to you.
Well, since I'm here, I don't need any of that. It's all the faculty that are doing that. It's the faculty and the staff and the staff for the reading program, and it's wonderful, right? So, oh, it is, and especially, and also it's the continuity. It's the continuity of it, right? So they're here all the time. It's the continuity of the program. They know they're here, and there's never really like, oh, we have no program today because the teacher's not in. Very rare, if at all.
I hope continued success.
Yes, yeah, so do I. So do I.
Well, I would echo the kudos to you because a lot of times programs don't sustain because we have to have a principal buy-in, and especially since you can't go around and see. You're trusting
Yeah.
what you're hearing and seeing. And so
Oh
I
yeah,
would
yeah. And
definitely
I trust a lot on it with the faculty to tell me if it's working or if it's not working, and they had nothing but good things from the very beginning. So you got to trust the people who are in the class. So you got their front line. Yeah, so you have to trust them. Besides the fact that anything that's out there, I'll try anything that helps the kids. Do anything. If it helps them, then it's a positive.
I really appreciate. I think that point about the principal being on board is everything. Like for us, if the principal's not going to be on board, it's not going to work for us.
Well, I mean,
You know,
there's something to say about things about like that's never happened here, or we always done it this way, right? In some things that's fine, it's good. I mean that's why things work, right? But if there's like a new program saying, well, we haven't done that, well, let's try it so we can see what happens, and then that'll work. And it has so far, yeah.
But it is a lot more work for you and your staff. Like
For them, it is.
it is to get into the routine.
But if they know the routine, and we had kind of like a similar type of structure type before with some things that we had done. So if it's just a new routine. It's just to get a hold of that plan a little bit, and you're okay, you're off and running. Yeah, and they're used to that, so they're ready to go.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're so excited for next year,
Yeah.
because next year we'll feel we can just get started and,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
know, without all the all the challenges we had this year.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely. Yeah,
exciting.
which is so good. Yeah, books and ordering and all that kind of
Exactly.
stuff too. Yeah.
Well, thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Right, and I'll see you.